What's up, everybody? It's your boy Josh with JTM Racing. What's going on? So today we're going to be working on the Civic. The last video I did on the Civic was an idle air control valve replacement because the idle was jumping up and down and it would die out of stop and it would pretty much surge. So we did that. It fixed some of the issues. It doesn't die out of stop anymore, but the idle is still bouncing around quite a bit. So there is another valve that sits right under the throttle body. It's called a fast idle thermo valve, which I haven't replaced. It's just as old as the old idle air control valve was. So I'm thinking if I replace that one, it should fix the issue. At least I hope so. I did buy this one off eBay as well. I think I got it for 52 bucks, free shipping. It's a rebuilt fast idle thermal valve. So it is legit quality. It's not made in China. The idle air control valve was made in China. But yeah, so it should be pretty sick. Hopefully we can fix the idle on the Civic. And yeah, let's get to it. All right, so I'm gonna fire this lady up. I want you to hear what the idle sounds like. Remember, I did say I replaced the idle air control valve. I don't think it didn't fix the idle because that's bad quality. I think that was actually pretty legit. It did fix some of the problems. Like I said, it doesn't die out of stop anymore, and the idle is a little bit better, but it still surges, which there is this secondary valve, like I said, and I think that's the issue. So I want you to hear how she runs, and so you can have an idea of how she's idling. See how high that idle is, and then she wants to die, and then she bounces right back up. So usually, anytime I've replaced an idle air control valve, it fixes the issue. I've never replaced a fast idle thermal valve. Never have on one of my Hondas. It's pretty common on the D series. So I'm thinking that's the issue, but hopefully we can replace that. Idle goes back down to where it's supposed to be, chilling at like 1,000 RPMs, maybe a little under. I just don't want the idle bouncing around, really. She might set a little high just because she ain't tuned, but this idle is garbage. So that's how she's idling. Just so you have an idea. I'll point out where this valve is exactly so you guys can have an idea. But if you look directly under the throttle body, this guy right here, it's 3 bolts. We'll be taking that off. There's a line running to it right here. And I think that's it. I think there's just one line running to it. Actually, let's take a look at the one I got off eBay. We'll know. Came packaged pretty nicely, all wrapped up. Yep, just one line running to it right here on this side. Pretty much looks like an idle air control valve. But this thing's rebuilt, all new O-rings, all new seals, all cleaned up. So let's rip this thing out. And just so you know, before I start, they're all 10mm bolts, just like every other bolt on this car. Alright, so I got it off. It was a little bit of a pain. I wouldn't say it's that hard, but it's not that easy. It would have been a lot easier on me if I had some stuff removed out of my way, like the intercooler piping, maybe some of these hoses, Even pulling off the throttle body and just flipping it upside down and doing it that way would be a lot easier. But I really didn't want to take everything apart. So, but we got her off. It only took me about, I don't know, 8 minutes. So putting her back on shouldn't be too hard. But yeah, so here's the old valve right here. She actually looks pretty rough. You got some corrosion around the center hole. The valve looks pretty dirty in here. I'm not too sure if that's stuck or not. But she looks pretty old and pretty beat up. The gaskets don't seem too bad, but I wouldn't say they're great. So hopefully putting this new valve in fixes my idle problem. I'll be super happy. The reason why I'm doing all these little tedious things, like the idle air control valve, the fast idle thermal valve, just little things, because I want the car running tip-top when I get her tuned, so nothing's throwing the tune off. So she's running perfectly except for the tune part of it. Let's get this new valve in. Alright, so we got that new fit valve on. That's what I'm going to say. It's just easier to say. There it is. Definitely going to get some coolant running out of there when you take it off, because coolant runs through the valve. That's how it controls the idle from hot to cold. And then you got this line right here. That's where your coolant flows in. Yeah, so it's in. We're all good to go. You might want to top off your radiator. You're not going to lose that much coolant. I'm not too worried about it right now, because this coolant is actually pretty old. I did a coolant flush like way back. It's due for another one. But let's fire her up. The good old lady. Where are my keys? Oh, they're in the car. Actually, the last video I did was on these door handles. Not the idle air control valve, now that I remember. But these door handles, still legit. Like, they work good. I'm happy I did them. The idle air control valve video was the video before that. Oh, I hope she idles better. Probably has to get some coolant flowing in there. She's idling a lot better right off the bat, I'm telling you that right now. Because she's not bouncing around. As soon as some coolant gets flowing in there, oh yeah. Sick. Is cold, so she's going to be sitting a little high, but dude, she's idling so much better. If you can see, she's not warm at all. This idle ain't bouncing around anymore, so that's it. So those two things, idle air control valve and your fit valve. I did clean up the ECU area the other day, cleaned up all the wiring. Didn't show you guys that. Have that cut out in the carpet. Carpet will be replaced, but I'm going to do that same cutout, and I'm probably going to do a spoon racing clear ECU cover on it so you can see everything inside. But I like it in the corner there, and you can see it. Cleaned up the wiring, zip tied it all, did some electrical tape work. Looks legit, just a lot cleaner on the floor on this side. I'm gonna let her warm up and we'll come back. All right, let's take her for a rip. She's idling super good, little warm, sitting right above 1,000. That's all right. She has still a little bit of room to warm up, so she might drop a little bit more. But even if she doesn't, I'm cool with that for now. Sorry if the camera's bouncing around, because I'm holding it with my hand, so. I'm so happy. That was the problem. She's idling so much better now. She's running great. She hasn't ran this good in a long ass time. Be right back for a rip ski. All right, this is the strip, guys, right here. Second gear pull. Pop the hood, pop the hood. D15b vtec, no shit. Oh, the camera was hella wobbly right there, but I'm trying to not let it torque steer too much and lose control when it's getting them high RPMs. Still a little sketch. It's like using one hand to shift and to steer. But she's running legit. She's running good, like really good. I'm very happy. I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. I guess I really never thought of it, but now we know. So if anyone's having like crazy idle issues like that where it's surging, dying on them at a stop, idle air control valve, and your fast idle thermo valve, and you should be good. But yeah, that was a success. So she's chilling right at 1,000 RPMs, warmed up maybe a little under, maybe like 900. That's normal. That's where she should be sitting at. Hella happy. Still idling a tad rough, but I think she has a little bit of a misfire. Since she hasn't been tuned, she burnt a little bit of oil. I think the plugs are fouling, and she just died. It's probably a tune issue. I could always turn up the idle just a tad. Yeah, we'll just see. But she's running fine, so. Her dying like that, it wasn't because of low RPM, she just died. So that probably just a tuning issue. maybe messing with the idle screw a little bit. But yeah, so that's it for this video, guys. If you guys want to see more, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, leave comments, hook it up. All right, that's it, guys. Peace out.